So, welcome back to Ethos of Humanity. This is episode 19. Some stories stay with us long after we hear them, shaping how we understand love, loss, and resilience. Tracy Stark's journey is one of profound grief following heartbreaking loss. In the face of unimaginable tragedy, she has chosen to transform pain into purpose. As a published author and founder of R&R Empowering Society of Alberta, Tracy shares her experience in the way that she honors and invites deep reflection on healing and resilience. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So let's just dive right in. I would love to get a background of you, your life, your story, just right from the beginning.
Okay, well, obviously my name is Tracy Stark. In 2016, I lost my only two children to the hands of their biological father, um, just 6 days before Christmas. We had a very messy divorce. He was just a man that just couldn't get over his wife leaving him and taking the kids, and just kind of that kind of man. So I ended up getting with my husband now a year after I had left Corey, and I've been with my husband ever since. And Corey could never get over that fact that I had moved on and there's another father figure in my kid's life. I guess he did the ultimate by taking my kid's life and himself just to really hurt me. I feel like that was just the last word, is what I say. And my husband always says, you know what, you can't let him win. And in my mind, I feel like he did win. But I guess we decided just to take that tragedy and go forward with it. So 2 years after my boys died, I took the money that people gave our family, and I wanted to, I guess, build a legacy for Ryder and Radek. I wanted people to talk about them. I wanted people to tell their story. And I guess basically I didn't want them just to have died. Like, I want every day, it's been 10 years, and every day I want people to talk about them, who they were. They were only 13 and 11 at the time. So they were huge into hockey and baseball. So I started the R&R Empowering Society of Alberta to allow underprivileged children play sports, because when my kids were with their father and they were able to go on the ice, they got to escape a bad situation for an hour or two of their day. They got to surround themselves with their peers and their coaches and have mentors in that situation and maybe someone to talk to. So I just wanted that for other kids. Yeah, so I started that. I wrote a book in 19 about my life, because I feel like when a woman leaves a man and you go through the courts, the custody, the divorce, that is not just cut and dry. That is not just a closed book. For me, it was 6 years of my life where my ex would not sign the divorce because he didn't have to. He was a control freak, so that was one thing that he could control. So I wouldn't move forward from our marriage. And a judge actually just granted me the divorce because, like, they can do that. So I got my divorce and I ended up getting married again. And yeah, so I wrote a book about how the system, in my mind, allowed him to do what he did on December 2016, which was to kill my children and kill himself. And the reason I say that the system allowed him to do that is because they didn't protect me. And not only did they not protect me, they didn't protect my children. And we had obviously a messy divorce, so there was tons of court orders. I even had a police enforced court order because a couple of years prior, he kidnapped my kids and didn't bring them back. So it was just an ongoing fight with him. Once he murdered my children, the book was closed. There was nothing else. No one reached out to me. I reached out to Child Protective Services 2 weeks prior to him killing my kids, because Ryder was my oldest and Radek was my youngest. And Ryder got suspended from school. And Corey made him go to Value Village and pick out a woman's dress. And he made him wear that woman's dress to hockey. And he shaved his head. And no one said anything to me. Like, it was my youngest that told me the story when I picked them up from school. Like, Dad made Ryder dress up as a girl and shaved his head and this and that. Yeah. So I dug into it, and there was more to it. There was physical abuse. Like, he was hitting them with hockey sticks and he was punching them in the face and he was doing all these horrible things to the kids. So I went to Child Protective Services and I just basically said, how do I get a home study? For one, I want you to go to his home, but also rewind 3 months earlier. So I had full custody of my children. In 2016, my son Ryder, he wanted to move in with his dad in Spruce Grove to play a higher level of hockey. So I allowed him to do that. And obviously, Braddock wanted to try it too. So I gave them 1 school year to live with their dad. And then at that time, my husband, Brent, his daughter was going to be finishing high school. So then we would make the move to Edmonton so that we would get the kids back. Obviously, that didn't happen. So when I went to Child Protective Services, they called me and they said, like, why do you think that we need to, like, interject this? And I'm like, well, because he's beating the shit out of my kids. Like, it's just, it is what it is. And I don't think that it's also right that he dresses my son up in a woman's dress. Like, to me, I don't agree with that, and I would like you to look into it. And then and I said at that time, I'm moving to Spruce Grove. So on December 14th, I moved to Spruce Grove from Whitecourt to be closer to my kids and basically get my kids from their father. So I moved into my home on December 14th, and on December 19th, me and my husband found my kids murdered at the home of their dad. But right before we found them, Child Protective Services said because I was moving to Spruce Grove to protect my kids, I was doing what I should do as a mother, and that they closed my case. So they didn't do anything to protect my kids, and they just thought that because I was going to protect my kids, that I was doing their job for them. But the fact is that, for one, I never knew that Corey would ever hurt my kids that way. Like, obviously, he was hitting them and stuff like that, but I would never in a million years think that he would kill them. So when we found the boys, I phoned their school on December 19th because their phones were turned off. So I thought that was strange. So I phoned the school and they were marked absent. And I was like, I was looking at my husband and I'm like, something's not right. So we drove over to Spruce Grove, or to Corey's house, which was a few blocks away. And we found my oldest at the front door. Yeah. And then I guess since then, it's just, I guess you don't know. Sorry.
Absolutely. Take your time.
I You just don't know what to do from that moment. You're a mom, your whole life is your kids, and then, like a candle, it's blown out, and then everything is dropped. The fight is dropped, the justice is dropped, just everything's dropped, and you are just expected just to go home, figure it out.
Yeah. And your whole world is crumbled right in front of you.
So I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book about my messy divorce, like every detail of my childhood, what I went through as a child, why I left Corey, the reasons why. If you want to read about my life, it's in that book. It is the Bible of my life, and I don't make myself to be a victim. I put it in there, like the fights, what I've done, what he's done. No one's perfect in a divorce. Like, things are said and things are done. So in that book, I put everything, and the reason that I wrote that book is because I wanted it to fall in the hands of somebody that would change a law to protect children.
Absolutely. Yeah, and change our whole system to look a little bit further instead of just at face value,
Exactly.
or not to brush off the evidence that's clearly in front of them.
And do something for these children. Like, I wondered every day why that woman closed my case at Child Protective Services. Like, it ate me alive to, like, the point that last spring, I contacted a private investigator, like, reporter, because I wanted to blow it up. Like, I wanted to,
Yeah.
like, my husband Brent's like, get over it, Tracy. Like, what is this going to do for you? Like, I just want to know why. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know who the lady is, so I can't ask her.
Hmm.
Like, and maybe it's not her fault. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have kids. I just, when you lose your children and no one helped you, it makes you so angry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah, and I mean, it's heartbreaking to know how overrun the system is, but still, we need to start to reevaluate these systems and what's creating that, because at the end of the day, the ones that suffer are the kids.
100%.
Yes.
So, yeah, so and then people are like, did the book change you? No, the book, it didn't change me. It actually made me madder. It made
Yeah.
me, like, sadder because I relived my life over and over and over in every chapter. And then when I released it, I didn't feel better. Then I was just like, there's my life. And, I got a lot of amazing feedback from my book. And even to this day, like we do an R&R Memorial Hockey Tournament with the Baja group out of Beaumont. We do that every year, and I have parents that come up to me, and it's a youth tournament. So that's the ages my kids were when they died. So all these kids that are at this tournament were the last ages I saw my kids on the ice. So it's really bittersweet, but it's also very heartwarming. So I have all these moms and dads that come up and they're like, oh, but they
Oh,
tell their kids about Ryder and Radek, and like we have bracelets and we have like helmet stickers. So you see all these kids with their bracelets and their helmet stickers, and they're skating for Ryder and Radek. Like the reason they're there is because Ryder and Radek are no longer here. So
yeah.
it's those little things.
That's amazing that their name echoes and you've created now this whole legacy around honoring
Mhm.
them, and it's brought in a whole community because of it.
100%.
Yeah,
And it's a village. I always say it's a village to raise a child, but it's also a village to grieve a child. Like I didn't
absolutely.
become this person because I did it. I became this person because I had everybody behind me, you know. And I always said, like, my kids are in heaven, and I have no doubt about that. And I didn't want sad angels. Like, you know what? I didn't want my kids up in heaven and be like, oh, like mom's dying down there. Like she can't move on. She can't like I want them to be like, that's my mom. You know, she's tough.
That's
So
amazing.
that's why I do. I do it for them because I don't want them to look down at me and be like, man, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and just honoring them every day. And yeah, I'd imagine everything that I understand about grief is it feels like you've broken every single bone in your body emotionally. And it takes a long time to rehabilitate. And sometimes the bones don't always heal
No.
in certain areas.
No, 100%. Like, and it's a good way to put it. Like, just day by day, some days are just so great and some days they're not. But that's just how you have to live your life.
Hmm. Yeah. And I want to touch on the title of your book. You named it Gross Misconduct. Would you be able to explain a little bit more about the meaning behind the name?
Well, obviously, because my kids were big hockey players. So, gross misconduct is like the worst penalty you can get in hockey. So it's just
Mhm.
basically a hockey themed name. Like the death of my children is basically the worst thing that could possibly happen. So it's gross misconduct hitting from behind because I just feel like that's exactly what it was. What Corey did was just a shot from behind, like, and there was no
Mhm.
going back from it. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. So.
Mhm. Yeah.
And honestly, I wrote that book with my therapist. She was the author of it. I was just the storyteller. So it's basically my story that she wrote. And she wrote it as my therapist. So in that book also is our journey together, her being my therapist. So in there it's also how she helped me get out of my hole as well. So it's kind of like everything. And then she just became such a big person in my life, and she's just the most amazing woman. We
Mhm.
become so close, and she's just a hoot. So it's just basically our adventure together just through the grieving process of my kids.
Amazing. Yeah. I did see one of your interviews and it seems like, yeah, it was a beautiful way to weave in everything and also let go. But once again, as you said, it does open up a lot
Mhm.
at the same time too, but it allows other people, I think, to connect to your story even more. And so, yeah, you can get it on Amazon, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And also I do have tons of books also. So if anybody ever just wants to send a message on our website, I can go that way too. I feel like I would be a lot cheaper. Amazon does their own thing. But yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. And tell us a little bit more about R&R Empowering Society of Alberta.
So yeah, like obviously that was founded because I wanted kids to ultimately play sports, be part of something that they could just be themselves. And in this world, there not a lot of families can afford sports for their children. It's just like food is more important. A roof over your head's more important. So we just take that out of their finances. So we pay for the registration. Until last summer, we connected with Sports Central, and they take care of all the equipment part of our applications. So they've just been amazing. So we do a free goalie camp every summer, and they take care of all the equipment for all our goalies, and we just pay for the camp. So, in this thing that I'm doing, this journey that I'm on, I have a lot of people that have jumped on my road with me, and they believe in what we do, and they believe in our story, and I feel like Ryder and Raddick touched them in a certain way because um, they're more than happy to help out. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's what we do. We just help kids in sports. And yeah, and people always wonder why we're different than Jumpstart or a kid sport. And the reason is because we're all a family. Any kid that we touch with the R&R Society, we follow through with them. Like we check up on them. Like we have we have summer students, so we always get a grant from the government. And our summer students even like go to hockey games and watch these kids play hockey. It doesn't just end because we paid a registration. We always check in on you and we always make sure that you're doing fine. And we always say you're our family now. Like so it's just a little
Community.
different.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Are there any stories worth sharing in regards to some of the kids that you've impacted?
Yeah, there's one. This is a really sad story. So, at one of our goalie camps, we had this 16-year-old boy, and his mom was a single mom, and she had three boys at home. And these boys are all six. This one particular boy, he was 6'3" at the time at 16, and his brothers were 6'7". And he came and he has slight autism, so which we didn't know. His mom just told us about it. So he's out there and he does his first day, and he comes up to one of our camp coordinators, and he's like, "Do you have some band-aids? I have blisters all over my feet." We're like, "Oh my God, do your skates fit?" He's like, "No, but that's okay." You didn't even know that he didn't skip a beat. So the more we talked about it, we talked to his mom and we're like, you know what, we're going to buy this kid some new skates, like skates that fit him. So we got in connect with United Cycle, and they had the boy go in and get sized for his new skates. And then at the end of the camp, we told his mom and him that we bought him new skates. So he had to, after camp, he had to go and get sized. And his mom started crying and she said, it because he's such a big kid and they don't usually the skate size that they had to get, you have to order it. You just don't get it off the shelf. So he's never had his own pair of skates. And she said like he skated like this, like his feet were scrunched up since he's played hockey. So she started crying. She said he's gonna have to learn how to skate again because he's never skated with his feet flat. And
Mhm.
we were like, oh my God, like I just thought that was the saddest story, but you didn't even know that kid was just so happy to be part of the camp. Like that's empowering. He didn't skip a beat, and we are still like actually he's one of our summer students this summer. So
Amazing.
so he's graduating and he's our summer student this summer.
So you must have a lot of kids that actually grow
Yes.
with the organization.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like we watch them grow up. Like we've been doing this like 4 years in Edmonton. But 4 years goes a lot like really fast.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, if you feel comfortable sharing, is there anything that you'd like to share with maybe other families that are grieving or maybe dealing with similar issues? Some words of wisdom?
Oh my God, I don't even it's a it's a loaded question. Like for me, like I feel like I grieve different. I have a
Hmm.
crazy support system. I have a husband that just is the most phenomenal man in the world, so that helps. I have great family and friends, and I just feel like no one for me, I couldn't be alone because when I was alone, I overthunk and I put myself in a depression. I would cry and I would listen to sad music and I would watch sad stories. Like it was awful for me. So for me, I had to keep busy. Writing my book, that kept me busy for 3 years. So that was a lot. Journaling, writing, I feel is very, very therapeutic. And just talking to somebody. Like we have friends, they just lost their daughter at Christmas, and he reached out to me and he's like, "Would you be able to talk to my wife?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like I I don't know what to say. Like, but I will talk because not a lot of people have that in common to lose your children." So
Yeah.
I find that I talk to a lot of people that lost their children, and I don't know if I have advice for them, but I think that they see me and what I've done with my life and they find that very therapeutic. I don't know. I don't find myself like that, but I don't look at the picture like that. I just know what I have to do for myself, and that's just definitely keeping busy and writing and yeah, and
Hmm.
doing
Hmm.
something. Like I feel like talking about the kids, like when I tell them that I lost my children because their dad murdered them, sometimes they just walk away. people don't know how to process that, or they don't know what to say to me after that. And then it's uncomfortable, and I don't want people, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. Like, it's okay.
Mhm.
Like, I don't usually cry. I don't know why I cried today. Like, I don't know. I feel like talking about when I found Ryder at the front door of Corey's house, like that visual, like and how my son ended up there because he got away from his dad and he would have had to look his dad in the face. And the fact that he made it to the front door and died there, like, just kills me. So, like, when I talk about that part of it, it just takes me back to a bad place. I just feel like I've lived through something so horrific and I don't know how I did it. Just every day at a time. It was awful. And, like, there's things that people don't tell you that you're going to do when you lose somebody, like going through their things, living without them.
Yeah. They it's like something that isn't taught, and it's interesting that you say that because it reminds me as we lost my brother, my mother expressed, she's like, "There's no word for in, like, the English language of losing a child.
No,
There's no word for it." And I think even in that, it says a lot.
yeah, there is no word. It's horrific. But I also, like, you've lost your family, and I sympathize for you because when people are like, it's not the same as losing a child. It is the same. It's different because it's a different family
Mhm,
member, but it is the same. People grieve the same. That person is no
mhm.
longer there. Yes, children, that's hard because you gave birth to your children and you're supposed to watch your children grow. But it's still the same. When you lose somebody, you lose somebody. My heart goes out to you because I also think that is also horrific. I just,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I try to put in the words on how I even navigated it, and it seemed like just get up every day and unfortunately reliving the same thing over again, and I know it takes a community and people do grieve differently. I think in my personal experience, I kind of went back into my shell. I found myself walking in nature a lot, and then as I shared with you, like photography, capturing life in motion became my way to heal. And I kid you not, as even like just a photographer capturing families or a wedding where you have these candid moments of people hugging.
Mhm.
It's those precious moments that you realize that you can give that to other people because you never know. Life throws all sorts of twists and turns. And if I can encapsulate a beautiful moment that someone can treasure forever is so powerful.
It is powerful. And they have that for the rest of their life because you've given that to them, you know, and your captures are probably different than what they would have captured, and like your
Mhm,
vision of what is beautiful and what you take pictures of is probably like, oh, I wouldn't even thought of that.
mhm.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely a perspective of the world. But yeah, it's a brick by brick endeavor.
Good.
And yeah, there's definitely like moments like even of losing a dad, like, walking down the aisle one day and everything. And
Yeah.
but I also learned too the same thing that you've expressed. It takes a community and you do create family through that as well. It's amazing to see who shows up. It is interesting too. I feel like when I tell my story, it's never in hopes for, like, pity or I feel bad for you. It's always of, yeah, I made it this far, and this is, like, trying to empower people around my community to be like, "Hey, you can overcome anything."
Exactly. That's exactly it. You don't want pity, but you want to tell people your story because if people don't hear it, like, your story might change someone's life. The way you
Mhm,
navigate your life now, people look up to that. Now you're bringing this awareness to everybody through your podcast.
mhm.
Like, that's huge. I've been asked, like, so many times to do podcasts. And I'm like, no, I don't know. I'm like, do people want to hear my story? I don't know.
As we were just touching on before too, it's very interesting because I think the world of podcasts and interviews is becoming very plentiful and highly saturated, but at the end of the day, I think we are shifting in the social media landscape where it's moving past like personal achievement. And with everything with AI and deep fakes and all this, I think we need authentic conversation. I think we need real human to human conversations.
100%. And you never know who this is going to touch. And I love that about podcasts. I love that about interviews. Like, so there's someone out there needing this right now. You just never
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, and I even talking to many people in the community, like the ripple effect that you have made is very well known. It's very prominent. So,
No.
yeah, you don't know until you hear it from other people as well.
And like, I didn't know you had a story until you told me about your story, like, and you just reaching out to me, and here we are. It's
Mhm.
just the little things, just because I love Joey's.
Yeah. Yeah. So, for anyone in the audience that wants to look a little bit further, yeah, you can purchase Gross Misconduct on Amazon. And then, if people were interested in purchasing the book directly from you, can they message R&R Empowering Society of Alberta?
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Yes, and so the website is R&R Empowering Society of Alberta.ca. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, and honestly, check out the website because it does tell our story, and there are pictures of Ryder and Radek. Like, sometimes when you hear the story, you want to put a picture or like a face to the names. And another thing we do that's super fun, we have a sticker tribute for the boys, and that started at the funeral. Good friends of ours made these car decals, so at the funeral, everyone could take a car decal, put on their car, and then we like in 10 years, we've done 1,000 of these stickers. So people message me, I send you a package of stickers and you take them somewhere around the world. Like, they've been all over the world, and it's really fun for families because you tell the story of the kids to the children and they want to do something fun with it. So if you're going to Hawaii, like, I find a lot of families find really cool places to put these stickers. And the reason for that, I feel like it gives Ryder and Radek a way to see the world, that they never got to see. So we do have a Instagram hashtag for that, and it's R&R See the World with 2 red hearts. So if people do get stickers, there's no cost to them. So if you do ask me for stickers, there is a hashtag on the sticker. So you just put your sticker up and you hashtag it, and then I get to see where the boys have been. So that's a pretty fun little thing that we do for families. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and then also the other events that you host throughout the year. You said you have 2 major events that you host?
Yeah, so at the end of January every year, we do the U13 Memorial Hockey Tournament with the Baja group. And then this summer, so every July, we do a free goalie camp. And then we do a fundraiser at the Sawmill in Edmonton. And then we do a hockey, or this last year, we have our summer students, they did a golf tournament in Marythorpe. It's just a small town out of Whitecourt. So that's super fun, and it's for adult and children. So you have to pair up with a child. So it's just fun for families. And then, yeah, those are the events that we do.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today
Oh,
and
thanks for
sharing your
having
story.
me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.